Good afternoon.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another amazing day on Pulsechain. We're going to talk about it all and get into some cool news. This is going to be an intense live stream. I'm not kidding you. This is going to be intense. This is for the alpha people. Man. We're going to talk about the Dovish Federal Reserve lifting the bullish stocks and crypto outlooks. Look amazing. And of course, we're going to talk about Coast Direct buys on Pulsechain as well as a lot of DeFi. Our top DeFi, we're going to have a look at it all and see what the top TVLs are. It's going to be an amazing show. This is going to be very detailed. We're going to look from Gary Gensler. We're going to be doing lots of stuff there. Bullish outlook for crypto, Bitcoin. It's going to be intense. Are you ready? Type in the word ready if you are ready. I mean, this is going to be amazing. 2 days ago, we had a big interview with Liquid Loans, Crypto Crazy. Yesterday, we saw Power City Core launch, and they've got just started off their ecosystem launches. It's amazing. We've had such an amazing content to talk about, and the shows have been absolutely epic. This show is going to be no different. We are going to have a lot of fun, and I've got a really nice show launch lined up today. It's going to be pretty cool. First of all, though, we've got Sandy Beach in the house there, another influence in the space, crushing it on health and fitness. Big shout out to Sandy Beach, and of course, one of our moderators. We've got Blobfish King as well. Big shout out to you. The Blobfish King is also the emoji king here at Hex Token Discord. Good big shout out. Now, we're streaming on 3 different channels at the moment. We're streaming on Hex Token YouTube, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain YouTube. Over 10,500 subscribers. So a big shout out to all your support out there. If you're new to the channel, of course, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell for future videos. We are streaming pretty much every day on Pulsechain. It's going to be amazing. And of course, Creepy Coin. Hello. Good to see you, Creepy Coin. Big shout out from Sandy Beach to everybody. Excellent choices in the house. Hello. Godfather's in the house as well. Hey, good to see you, Godfather. We've got the cool emojis there. What do we got? The peace sign. We got the fire lit, and we got the heart. We got the diamond, a star, and it looks pretty good. It looks bullish, says Eddie. Woohoo! Yeah, definitely looks good. Joey Torres as well. Hi, all. Good to see you, Joey. Eddie is ready. Now, Eddie's the only one that's ready. Eddie is the only one ready for all the output today on the show, because it's going to be amazing. We've got a wonderful lineup today. It's going to be very cool. If you like learning and education and just information generally, it's going to be an epic show. I love it, right? So I love it, and I love sharing the journey with everybody. So it's going to be awesome. Hey, gang from Hexcavator, big shout out. All right, I think Hexcavator might single-handedly be building out the utility systems in the United States single-handedly. That's probably the case there. So well done, Hexcavator. Solids in the house there. Hello, Super. Hexkins and Pulsekins, good to see you, Solids. Big shout out and welcome to everybody. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. We have been ramping it up, of course. If you haven't gone to our Discord, the link's in the video description. We have general membership of $5 per month, and we have the Strategy Club, which is amazing. That's multi-chain, of course. We talk about the most valuable protocols on multiple chains. Get into that. It's $25 a month, and it is awesome too. So get in there, folks. All right, without further ado, it's my new phrase. We're going to get into the stock market and kick it off. Let's go. And of course, let's bring up the window that we're going to look at. So let's go here. All right. So the stock market today, it's done pretty amazing. The Dow closes above 37,000 for the first time ever as a Fed turns dovish. How about that? The Dow closed above 37,000 for the first time ever as the Fed turns dovish. That's kind of cool news there. We've got the Dow Jones here, 37,090 points. Woohoo! Up 1.4%, 500 points. 500 points. Amazing. S&P 500 there is up 1.4%, 63 points to 4,707. And remember, I've been talking about this for a long time. Fund Strat manager Tom Lee, as you may have seen on CNBC and many other shows, was calling 4,800 by the end of the year, the Christmas rally, as it were, and we're not far from that. 4,707, looking pretty good. Now the Nasdaq there up 1.4% as well, 200 points to 14,733, and of course it's got all the tech companies looking very cool. Now we've got some cool news, of course. The Fed's dovish tilt brings joy. How about that? Joy, Christmas joy to stocks as March cut within the sight, and that's looking pretty exciting here. March cut is kind of the earliest, although we may get it in May. We'll see. The Federal Reserve kept interest rates steady on Wednesday for the third straight meeting. Okay, so that's the good news today. The Federal Reserve kept interest rates steady on Wednesday for the third straight meeting and signaled that inflation is expected to cool faster than initially anticipated, setting up potential cuts next year. Woohoo! Bring it on. You guys are all here at the right time, man. Now, this is going to be absolutely mega run. Fed members estimate that the benchmark will fall to 4.6% next year, suggesting 3 rate cuts in 2024 from a prior prediction of 5.1% or 2 rate cuts. So this is really bullish, even better than before, looking really amazing. The dot plot chart indicates 3 rate cuts in 2024 with the futures curve price for 4 rate cuts next year. And of course, that was exciting to see that too. About 60% of traders expect the Fed to cut as soon as March now. So March is getting even more bullish than May. Remember, we started off with July, June, then May, and now March is starting to look even more likely a rate cut. That is what we call a pivot, right? The pivot. The terminal rate is hopefully the 5.5% we've got at the moment, and hopefully we'll get the pivot from there at the end there. So that's kind of cool. And we should hopefully move to expansionary policies rather than restrictive policies. And so we should start to see the Fed potentially also issuing new securities and stuff like that. So it's going to be pretty neat. This is compared to 40% the day earlier. So more bullish there on rate cuts as well. Everything's lining up, folks. Really is amazing. Let's hear from the Fed meeting. And we're going to listen to 2 different clips. The first one is the opening. So let's have a look at that.
My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. As we approach the end of the year, it's natural to look back on the progress that has been made toward our dual mandate objectives. Inflation has eased from its highs, and this has come without a significant increase in unemployment. That's very good news. But inflation is still too high, ongoing progress in bringing it down is not assured, and the path forward is uncertain. As we look ahead to next year, I want to assure the American people that we're fully committed to returning inflation to our 2% goal. Restoring price stability is essential to achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all. Since early last year, the FOMC has significantly tightened the stance of monetary policy. We've raised our policy interest rate by 5.25 percentage points and have continued to reduce our securities holdings at a brisk pace. Our actions have moved our policy rate well into restrictive territory, meaning that tight policy is putting downward pressure on economic activity and inflation, and the full effects of our tightening likely have not yet been felt. Today, we decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities holdings. Given how far we have come, along with the uncertainties and risks that we face, the committee is proceeding carefully. We will make decisions about the extent of any additional policy firming and how long policy will remain restrictive based on the totality of the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks.
So that is the kind of the good piece of first good news there is that, yeah, they're still keeping one option potentially for going one rate higher. Really, everything's looking like they're probably going to end up pivoting, maybe as early as March, but I've still got May on there at the moment, but that's kind of good news. Now, that was talking about where they kind of at the moment and how inflation's been coming down, but they've also given us a forward-looking statement as well. So let's have a quick look at that one too.
Eased over the past year, but remains above our longer run goal of 2%. Based on the Consumer Price Index and other data, we estimate that total PCE prices rose 2.6% over the 12 months ending in November, and that excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 3.1%. The lower inflation readings over the past several months are welcome, but we will need to see further evidence to build confidence that inflation is moving down sustainably toward our goal. Longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored, as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. As is evident from the SEP, we anticipate that the process of getting inflation all the way to 2% will take some time. The median projection in the SEP is 2.8% this year, falls to 2.4% next year, and reaches 2% in 2026. The Fed's monetary policy actions are guided by our mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation. We're highly attentive to the risks that high inflation poses to both sides of our mandate, and we are strongly committed to returning inflation to our 2% objective. As I noted earlier, since early last year, we have raised our policy rate by 5.25 percentage points, and we have decreased our securities holdings by more than $1 trillion. Our restrictive stance of monetary policy is putting downward pressure on economic activity and inflation. The committee decided at today's meeting to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 5.25 to 5.5%, and to continue the process of significantly reducing our securities holdings. While we believe that our policy rate is likely at or near its peak for this tightening cycle, the economy has surprised forecasters in many ways since the pandemic, and ongoing progress toward our 2% inflation objective is not assured. We are prepared to tighten policy further if appropriate. We're committed to achieving a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restrictive to bring inflation sustainably down to 2% over time, and to keeping policy restrictive until we're confident that inflation is on a path to that objective. In our SEP, FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path for the federal funds rate based on what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario going forward. While participants do not view it as likely to be appropriate to raise interest rates further, neither do they want to take the possibility off the table. If the economy evolves as projected, the median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 4.6% at the end of 2024, 3.6% at the end of 2025, and 2.9% at the end of 2026, still above the median longer-term rate.
So just pausing there quickly, you can see that these expectations from the Fed presidents there is just down to 4.6% for 2024 at the end, which is not a heck of a lot lower. I mean, it's good to be lower in that camp, but 5.25 in 23 down to 4.6 down in 24 there is at least heading in the right direction. But you can see even looking further out, 25 and 26. By the time you get 26, you're still only down at 3% there. Now, often these predictions can be wildly wrong, pretty much, I guess so, but we'll see how they end up. Obviously, getting down to that, how we've had, almost a couple of years ago, we had almost zero interest rates, and, I don't know whether we'll get back there based on this prediction. So we will still have, elevated rates, interest rates going forward. But at least they look to come down, that downward trajectory, which is kind of cool.
These projections are not a committee decision or plan. If the economy does not evolve as projected, the path of policy will adjust as appropriate to foster our maximum employment and price stability goals. In light of the uncertainties and risks and how far we have come, the committee is proceeding carefully. We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting based on the totality of the incoming data and their implications for the outlook for economic activity and inflation, as well as the balance of risks. In determining the extent of any additional policy firming that may be appropriate to return inflation to 2% over time, the committee will take into account the cumulative tightening of monetary policy, the lags with which monetary policy affects economic activity and inflation, and economic and financial developments. We remain committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal and to keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Restoring price stability is essential to set the stage for achieving maximum employment and stable prices over the longer run. To conclude, We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals.
All right, so there were two big clips there, but important to keep a tabs on where the Federal Reserve is going and what they're thinking, what they're saying, because obviously they're driving a lot of the economics moving forward. One thing they didn't put in there, of course, is around the presidential election next year. And of course, if you guys know, a lot of those people in there are pretty much part of the Democrat machine. And so it's going to be interesting to see that play out for next year, which is good for us in that time frame. So it's going to be pretty neat. All right, let's have a look at some of the comments. So what does all this mean? Well, here's some comments here about we expect a positive correlation between stocks and bonds seen through November to encourage significant gains for equities for a Santa rally in stocks to extend through into January as major US stock averages hit new multi-month highs, maybe even challenging all-time peaks in Q1 of 2024. So exciting times ahead, folks. You guys here at the right time. And of course, we've also got crypto with the perfect lineup as well, which is going to be amazing. Now, inflation in November, producer prices were unexpectedly unchanged in November as the decline in the cost of energy products more than offset higher food prices, confirming that the country remained on a disinflationary path. Signs of ongoing disinflation come just a day after November consumer prices continue to show slowing price pressures. So good news all over. Fantastic. The lineup is perfect. That leads us into crypto. So let's go to them. And Bitcoin on the bounce back after that big retrace after having a big rally. And so the bullish times continue, right? BTC there at 42,967, so basically 43,000, up 3.4% on the 24-hour basis there. And we've got the dominance there, 51.13% at the moment for Bitcoin. Ethereum there back up into more bullish range for altcoin season. You know, I've got it kind of 2,400. We're just going to have to break through there, but that's kind of the level that we're at. Up 2.56% at the moment on Ethereum, looking pretty good. The standout performer, of course, today is ADA at 66 cents there, up 15%. And ADA is really the standout there. Let's quickly look at some of the outlooks for ADA. Crypto analyst predicts Cardano price will rise 6,000% to $33, while we can see it's currently at 66 cents. And of course, he's talking about $33 here. So let's check this out. Crypto analyst Tyler Jalovich has speculated that what could be another tremendous bullish run for Cardano. Cardano has already done 132% gain for its holders since the beginning of the year. But according to a discovery by this analyst, the token might just be getting started. In fact, Jalovich is right. ADA could skyrocket by an incredible 6,000% from today's price of $33 in the next year. The crypto analyst Tyler made his discovery known in a post on social media platform X. In the post, he noted how ADA is currently at a similar crossroads, which it found itself in July 2020. Using his analysis of the ADA price chart he shared, Tyler noted how the token is now at a bullish cross on moving averages on the weekly time frame. The last time this happened, ADA went on to form many consecutive bullish candles, going from 4 cents to its current all-time high of $3.09 in 66 weeks. A repeat could see Cardano reaching $33 by January 2025. A less optimistic prediction by Changeley, of course, puts it at $1. I'm not sure Changeley really adds much to this, but that's kind of the play there. The bullish crossover is yet to happen, and the token still has a few weeks to see how it could play out. How it would play out, of course, in the volatile world of cryptocurrencies, there's no guarantee the price will move as predicted. Nevertheless, Cardano is poised for a major rally that could extend in the coming year. So that was kind of a bit of an interesting outlook there from Tyler. And of course, that is where ADA's definitely pumped today. So kind of cool. That is the market. Let's have a look at Bitcoin a bit closer. And of course, we're going to get into a little bit more stuff here. Let me just remove some of these. And we're going to talk about the Bitcoin. So here is a Bitcoin at the moment. And we're at $42,900 there. We had a really nice rally, of course. We came and we pretty much bounced off the 20 EMA, this yellow line, the EMA moving average for the daily. And look, a nice little powerful bounce back today. The low today, 40,553. The high, 43,475. We're currently near the top of that range, just below 43,000. So looking really, really good. And that is super bullish. Now, we did have some news, so let's get into that. We've had James Seyfarth here. He's one of the top Bitcoin ETF analysts. Nothing groundbreaking to report, but 4 different issuers have met with the SEC regarding their Bitcoin ETF filings in the last few days. BlackRock met with them yesterday for the 3rd time in as many many weeks. While Grayscale, Franklin, and Fidelity each had their meetings last week. So there are 13 Bitcoin ETF applications at the moment. So 4 of these leading ones are definitely having lots of meetings with the SEC. So look at that. There's Grayscale. There's Fidelity. These are all on the 7th of December, 8th of December, Franklin, Templin, and of course the 11th there, BlackRock, which is also, as we talked about yesterday, bringing in the banks, right? Bringing in the banks. So massive capital potentially flowing into crypto. Bullish, right? The other thing that's happened, of course, is Gary Gensler out there as well, playing his role. He's got interviewed, I think, in the last 24 hours. This is a clip here from Gary Gensler. Let's check it out.
So what is your question about Bitcoin?
We have seen in recent days SEC staff engaging with issuers, of a number of which have filed for spot ETFs. We've seen a number of amendments to those filings. It seems that market participants in crypto have a sense that we are reaching the end stages here. Typically, is this kind of engagement with the SEC not prejudging anyone filing, but the level of engagement we are seeing signifying of things getting easier, closer to resolving, or things getting more difficult?
Again, we have, I think, somewhere between 8 and a dozen filings in front of this agency with regard to exchange-traded products around Bitcoin. And the staff of the various divisions respond when market participants have filings. We also had a court case earlier this fall in this regard, and so we do things according to our authorities and how courts interpret our authorities, and that's what we'll do here as well.
I think you're referring there to the Grayscale case. Just one final question, really.
So before this clip, he was trying to avoid talking about crypto at all, saying it was small and not to worry about. And of course, during his meeting there, the government, he was pretty much talking about the treasuries and how big they are, and trying to focus on the successes he was making there. So any case, it's moving forward. And of course, we're going to check out the time frame again for Bitcoin ETFs coming up pretty nicely there. The 10th of January is still expected, about a 9% chance there of success. So that's the bullish case there for crypto, Bitcoin in particular. And you can see the time frames getting closer and closer all the time. We are only 28 days away. And we talked about that after this pullback here, the likely chance this was a good correction and that we'd just continue to move up and to the right there. Will we break the 48K? So 45, 48K kind of resistance zone. And of course, breaking in over 50K would shoot down a lot of other people's opinions, like Gareth Soloway, who expected this pullback at this level. But of course, if we can zigzag further up there, we've got 28 days to do it in the run up to the Bitcoin ETF. And don't forget that a month after that, the 10th of February, if some of those 13 are approved, we will get them officially launching. And of course, there'll be, the sales desk at those places will be calling all their clients, including banks now for BlackRock, to be able to use cash or crypto. So it's going to be pretty fun to see that. Now, obviously, the window of opportunity continues on. The Fed meeting there was a no-brainer. So the Fed there, we delete that because that was a no change, exactly as expected. And we continue on. The bullish window continues on here into the future. So looking really, really good. Let's quickly check out so we got obviously all the Bitcoin ETFs coming, 13 of them, potentially for big capital to flow in at both at the launch phase, like now in the launch phase, and in the years to come. Let's have a quick look at a commentary on how bullish that might be, because it's always good to look at a few perspectives of how that money might change things up there. I got to look post Sandy's Beach, little aliens there. Yeah, true that. All right, so let's put that in.
What's the impact of $100 billion coming into Bitcoin? Well, I think we've seen what the impact of, $10 billion coming into Bitcoin in 2021 is. What's the impact of $100 billion coming into Bitcoin? I think it could 10x Bitcoin. That's kind of my gut feel. So, And roughly speaking, rough math on these numbers is we kind of know that, well, let's say it's at right now at 50,000. I'm just going to round it up to 50,000. 100 billion at 50,000 is 2 million Bitcoin, right? How are you going to get 2 million Bitcoin into an ETF when there's only 2 million Bitcoin trading on exchanges right now? You know, Michael Saylor's not selling his Bitcoin. Block One is not selling their Bitcoin. Satoshi is not selling his Bitcoin or her Bitcoin. You know, Draper is not selling his Bitcoin at 50,000. So this Bitcoin, you're talking this very small supply of 2 million Bitcoin and sort of almost an equivalent demand right there in that first year. The math is just very clear. The price has to go up to match the demand.
All right, so that was from Kruger there on the Bitcoin potentiality with that money coming in. We've looked at a number of scenarios weeks ago about where Bitcoin could head, and of course the flow-on effect into crypto generally, including Ethereum and Pulsechain, of course. So very exciting times, folks. It really is amazing. I think this is going to blow minds over the next year. Really, this bull market's going to be nothing else. It really is incredible. So yeah, just get excited. I know somebody in the Discord will be excited about that Bitcoin prediction. So good times ahead. Let's have a quick look at the halving coming up as well. I mean, the news just gets better. So we've got Ethereum ETFs as well, potentially in March, 7 of those. We could have the interest rate pivot could be as early as March, if not May. And of course, then we've got the Bitcoin halving on the 17th of April. The lineup is just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous with the stuff, absolutely incredible. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a fun ride. And of course, the US election later in the year. So it's going to be pretty cool. And we could get monetary expansion as well. So that's going to be cool. Let's check it out. Ethereum, of course, has also had a similar move, a similar pattern. We got to a low of today of 2,144. We're back with a high of 2,284, and we're currently at 2,261. So not too bad there on Ethereum as well. So that's going to lead us into Pulsechain, which we're going to get into. But before we do, let's say hello to a few other people here. We've got Harry Williams in the house there. Yo, yo, yo. Good to see you, Harry. And Mr. Burns there from Harry. Good to see you, Harry. All right, that was pretty much it. Caught up pretty quickly there. Now we're going to move into Pulsechain. Now, Richard Hart's been tweeting out a few tweets. So we're going to go through a couple of these. Did you know the RIS and SEC and Federal Register are all acting as custodians of cryptocurrency via their comment sections? They have seed words with money in them. They also have seed words with time-locked Bitcoin in them. They are also hosting Uniswap code in PDF form. Do they also owe a tax on those seed words they received? And they don't even know what else those seed words might control via different derivation paths and depths. Interesting question there from Richard. Now, obviously, they have certain privileges being part of the state. So that's probably that would be their counter argument. Ethereum there, $50 to swap. Bitcoin, $10 to send a few minutes ago. It was pretty crazy. Pulsechain.com was invented to get the ETH gas fees down. It does that best when you move load to it. And there is a couple of posts there from Richard Hart about how much cheaper Pulsechain is than Ethereum and Bitcoin. At the time, it was 12,500 times cheaper than Ethereum and 34,000 times cheaper than Bitcoin. So it's a place for the retail book to play, which is pretty cool. You can see at the time when he pictured this, which was 13th of December, 10 o'clock at night, UTC time, it was $50 on a swap, $84 on an NFT. And of course, borrowing $42 there. Maybe that's something like Harvey or something. Pretty cool. So that was another big post from Richard. The SEC is pretending that hugging is punching and charging parents with battery as an analogy. Another analogy would be that the SEC is like a highway patrolman trying to write astronauts tickets for speeding. It's a violation of due process, free speech, freedom of association, freedom of contract, and tortious interference. It's arbitrary and capricious. Choosing of winners and losers in technology protocols. It's also de facto bans vastly outside congressional intent or their mandate. And of course, we've seen a lot of pushback there from members of Congress. Sadly, the administrative state is rife with such overreach and basically denial of service, attacking the judicial branch. Gensler is on record stating this is as something to the effect of if you're not losing cases, you're not bringing in enough. And of course, this all, of course, unconstitutional and losing cases seems to have little effect. They just pretend that hugs are punches. In the next case, again, federal employees take oaths to uphold the Constitution. Of course, we know many of them see themselves above the US Constitution and are looking to undermine it. We see that all over the place at the moment in the United States by the current regime, as we say. All right, so that is some cool stuff there from Richard in terms of his updates. Finally, we've got one more, and that is when you sign as an officer of a company instead of personally, your company acts as a shield. For some reason, SEC operatives like to speak not on the behalf of the SEC, which I figure means they're speaking on behalf of themselves. So when someone prejudges nearly all cryptos to be securities, it sounds like tortious interference to me and has a real-world measurable effect on the markets. And, of course, we saw Gensler say that in that video interview that we just showed earlier, which sounds like damages to me. The duality of working hard to get rid of your qualified immunity shield and speak not on behalf of an agency always seemed risky for the SEC employees to be doing. I do wonder what countries might bring charges against people acting outside their authority and outside their qualified immunity for tortious interference and market manipulation, perhaps even libel and slander. I'm not a lawyer, though, nor professional of any kind, so who cares what I think? And, of course, a lull on that one. So that is up from Richard. So great to see Richard posting. Now, if you guys haven't seen, Richard did get served the other day. So that is processes moving on versus the SEC as well, which leads us into the Pulsechain day number 215, like a boss. And we got here quadruple 0511 on Pulse, 1.4% on the upside and 51% the sacrifice price at the moment. PulseX there is at quadruple 0137, pretty much flat today. And that buy and burn has hit the 600 billion, of course, the other day. 603.4 billion PulseX has been bought up and burned, and that is so exciting to see. 2.94% of all public supply is now bought up and burned. We're almost up at the 3% mark, getting there very, very soon. I'm sure it'll be well before Christmas and looking good there. Incentive token there is down slightly, just maybe 0.5% at 44 cents. The ratio to Pulse is 8,700. We just hit the 19 million incentive tokens in the market, and the buy and burn 116,000 of those through the TRH protocol from Jacob's ecosystem. Hex there is at 8400th of a penny on PHEX, up 1.8%. Oh, 2.3% now, just jumped up. And EHEX there is at half a penny. Combined price of EHEX and PHEX is at 1.34 cents. Not too bad. That's day 215. Let's quickly look at let's quickly look at the charts here. And we've got here the prices here. Actually, I thought I had queued these already, but apparently I haven't. Let's pull this up on the old chart here. So this is Pulsechain, and we can see that the price is just slowly moving up here. Quadruple 0513. Nice little uptrend here the last 3 days here. We're about to, we just got a brand new candle. That's yesterday's chart there. We got down as low as quadruple 049. So we're back over there on a new day, third day there. Let's have a look at the RSI. Sorry, yeah, RSI is at 41. So we've got plenty of room to move for a rally once we get there. So everything is looking on the upside. The big news, of course, is that Liquid Lines has been making good impact on Pulse. So it's been good news. And we've got PulseX coming up as well for Power City Earn Protocol. Now that the Power City Core has launched, then this is going to be the next big thing to move. If you're looking for a swing trade, it's probably the one to look at. Obviously not financial advice, do your own due diligence. But of course, Power City's Earn Protocol is going to collateralize PulseX as well and issue stablecoin PXDC. And hopefully we'll get a good percentage of that out there in the market buying PulseX. So it's going to be kind of neat there. And other tokens, it's going to be cool. It's a win for the supply side and win for the demand side. And of course, we're early days in that process. So kind of neat. I'm going to be talking more about that when we get to Liquid Lines. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be a lot of fun talking about that. So that's where we are there at the moment. Let's look at the RSI. RSI down here at 40, looking pretty good already for a nice little takeoff, do you reckon? I think so. Looking good there. And, of course, incentive token. Let's go. Incentive token at 45 cents, let's say. And the ratio, of course, is probably all-time low or pretty close to it. No, off the bottom of all-time low. All-time low is currently 8,467 pulse per one incentive. We're currently at 8,699, just off the bottom there at the moment. The PHEX rate there, let's have a quick look at that. On the daily is at 8600th of a penny, and we just started a brand new day on the upside. That's kind of cool. We had a low the other day there. Look at that, 2 days ago. We got down to 7300th of a penny, so we're up from that. Nice to see. And the RSI there are just cool at 40 there. 40, they're all around that range, isn't they, the RSI? Looking at the MACD, we're looking for this cross. Is this going to be a positive cross? And are we going to start getting a green? Are we going to get something like this? We had a fake out back here, but is this going to be real? We'll keep looking at this the next day or two, but looking bullish on the old price chart there for the MACD for Hex. That's PHEX and EHEX at the moment. So look at EHEX as well. Last couple of days, pretty similar pattern there. And we're currently at half a penny with the RSI down at 41. So all looking pretty good. Staging is set, is it? Staging is set for almost a rally to the upside. Probably need a bit of RSI uptrend maybe. Let's see how we go. And the combined price of EX and PX here on InvestX.io is 1.37 cents. Yeah, boy. The last time we had kind of, this is the daily, by the way. They've now added the daily on the InvestX.io, so it's kind of cool. So we've got the combined price of both of them. The last time we were up at 3.7 cents here was July. The last sort of rise we had was 3 cents here, was on 26th of October. You can sort of see the chart there. And where we got the 10th of May here, 10th of May. Yeah, we're up around about 6.8 cents there on the launch of Pulsechain. So that's kind of the chart since then. So good looks good for a pickup there in terms of the old Hex. We're going to get back into the markets after that, but before we do, let's quickly look at the validators. They're ticking away. We're at 49,703 validators, so we've dropped off some validators from the all-time high, but we've got 4 entering at the moment, and a total amount of pulse there is state is 1.59 trillion. That is the amount of pulse there. Now, this pulse that's coming out may end up going into liquid loans. That's maybe one of the places that it's going, into liquid loans. We're at 1.59 trillion, which is, let's do the math on that, 1.59 divided by 16, say, just as a proxy for the total supply. So we're sitting at 10%. 10% now is in the validators with that higher amount on the total amount of pulse there, which has gone from 15 trillion up to 16. So it doesn't give you the rounding, so it's a bit of a weird jump, but that is the case at the moment. Let's have a look at the gas prices. 209,000 beats on Pulsechain, so super cheap every day. It's been like this, amazing. 0.3 of a penny for Pulsex swap, 200th of a penny for Pulsecoin transfer, and 700th of a penny for PRC20 transfer. We're currently 10,500 times cheaper than Ethereum. It is $34 to do a swap on Ethereum at the moment, so good luck with that. And we're 40,500 or 40,600 times cheaper than Bitcoin. $9.20 to send Bitcoin at the moment, and it's probably take you 24 hours. I don't know. But there we go. That is day 215, folks. And of course, there we are, rock and rolling. Like I say, we got this number here. It doesn't have decimal place, but 16 trillion there. Start off at 15. But that's a lot of that stuff's coming out from the validators. That's probably what's been accruing there. Although I did expect that to be like 200 and something billion a year. So I'm not sure. We must have been up much higher than 15.8 or something to get there. All right, I'll try and find the data for that. I think it's on another website, so I'll try and pull it up. So that's day 215. And of course, let's jump over to the deck screener and have a quick look at that. Before we do, though, let's get back in the chat there and catch up on any comments. Let us jump here. Gary, a.k.a. Mr. Burns, says Harry. Wookie is all over it. Hey, nice to see you, Wookie. Welcome to the chat. Big Kahuna, Joe family. Good to see Big K. And who else is here? Deploy the war chest, RH, says Brennan. Yeah, indeed. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? And a Big Kahuna in house with the emojis looking good. We got Tintop in house there. What's up, Excans? Says Tintop. Welcome to the chat. And looking good there. And of course, Sandy Beach pumping out the emojis. Feeling good there. Let's have a quick look at the other categories. We've looked at the RH tokens, category 1. Let's look at category 2, which is the top PRC 20s. And I think I'm in the right category. No, I'm not. Let's go to the right category. We're going to look by liquidity. And we can see that PDI is up at 0003, so it's back up 7.8%. Wrap Bitcoin is at $66, up 10%. Troper is up 6.8%. Maker is up 2.7%. Treasury Bull up 7%. Teddy Bear up 8%. Our two big meme coins, SHIB and Pepe. SHIB is up 2%, and Pepe is up 5% at the moment. What else we got going there? Jumping through some of these. I think that's it on the majors. LUSD, funny enough, 8,500 liquidity, but it's up 16% on LUSD, which is, the liquidity copy on Pulsechain. Isn't that funny? That typically would be a stable coin as well, right? Yeah, that's pretty neat. All right, that is it on category 2, the top PRC 20s. We're going to look at category 3, which is meme coins. And I need to adjust this the list, but I haven't done it yet. We've got Access Live is up 5.3%. Man, this thing, hard to keep this thing down. $5,255 at the moment. And Mega there is up 2.7% as well. Make Ethereum great again. Reflux there is up 12% at the moment. What else there? Dodge is up 6%. Hex Orange Address is up 5% there. Those are some of the leaders. Ben from BitBoy is up 2% there at the moment. Floppy Slippers up 8%. Those are kind of the leaders there. We're going to quickly look at category number 4, which is the Pulsechain projects. Let's have a look there. We've got liquidity, sorting by liquidity, of course, the biggest liquidity at the top. And we're going to jump through some of these. But what token there? So what token is up 20% there. Whee! So let's have a look at the what token. Obviously, that launched recently. Was it yesterday? That's how recent it was. We got the 15-minute chart up there. Let's go to the hourly chart. This is the hourly. There's the hourly chart there so far. So, man, what a move around has the what token had. Been up at 31/100th of a penny. Been down as low as 18/100th of a penny. It's currently at 2/10th of a penny at the moment. As the old what token there. So congratulations for all of you if you have claimed that and auto staked and are earning or going to earn some rewards sooner because about to launch. I guess they got Portal X rewards. They're going to have the Earn Protocol launch, I guess, and all those fees going. It's going to be quite amazing. 5 protocols going in with fees into the core. It's going to be pretty powerful. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but that is the what token. P-Drip is at $12.50. That's pretty flat at the moment. Tetra is up 4.5%. Tetra's got lots of stuff to be launching on Pulsechain soon, so we'll get to that hopefully. Didn't see anything there today. Pulse Reflections up 20% today, 50k liquidity on there. Pulse Kittens is up 4.5% or so. And what else there? Daytona Finance up 10%, 11%. Communist up 9% there, and Daytona Finance up 10%. Those are some of the leaders there amongst the Pulsechain projects, which makes us focus on a few others. So let's get to that. We're going to talk about some of the project teams here. Before we do, let's get into Coast. This is part of the title of today's video, Coast Direct Buys on Pulsechain. Now, this launched the other day, but they've got a nice little explainer out today. Direct buys on Pulsechain are now live. And, of course, you can get access to this for detailed explanations in FAQ. And you can do that. I'm going to just repost that, I should say, and copy the link in there for Coast. Coast Direct Buy. Now, if you want to sign up for Coast and do fiat on-ramping from, I think it's 50 countries or so, definitely use our community leader, Brian's link in the video description. He is the second top referrer for Coast, and you can help keep him there. Maybe even help him trying to take out Crypto Coffee, who's number 1. Crypto Coffee is number 1 there. Of course, he's pretty much the biggest influencer in the Pulsechain Hex space in terms of subscribers on YouTube. So Coast Direct Buy. There is the link to the post there. And, of course, the link to join up is in the video description there. Big shout-out and support for Brian. Crypto Coffee there, the number 1 referrer there. And big YouTuber, keep it up. So that's from Crypto Coffee there. And, of course, we're going to go to that link and check it out. So there's a big update here for Coast. Buy Pulse, PulseX, Hex, and Wait with Fiat. So this is our direct Fiat on-ramp to Pulsechain. It's a very important protocol for Pulsechain. The new Coast buy feature allows users to buy from more than 50 countries to buy Pulse, PulseX, and Hex and Wait gaslessly. That's the cool thing, right? So it's gasless as well using fiat currency. Okay, what does that all mean? If you don't have any Pulse to pay for an ongoing, for an on-chain transaction like minting CST, you can now get Pulse sent directly to your wallet external. Isn't that cool? To your external wallet. If you already have a Coast account, you will find the new feature on the left-hand side of the site there. Now, the link to that is in the video description. Help support Brian, our community leader, with that and keep him at number 2 and chasing down Crypto Coffee. Hey, we can believe. You can believe. You just got to believe. You can do it. You guys can help him by actually making it happen. So there we go. Background, of course, they've got a big background here. I'm not going to read through this, but basically new Pulsechain users don't have any Pulse for transactions. Minting CST is an advanced multi-step process. And, of course, without instant arbitrage, Coast is too volatile. So there's a couple of contents about that. But, of course, the solution is what we really want to focus on here, and that is Coast. CST is swapped for Pulse, PulseX, Hex, or Wait. On the buy page, the user selects the amount of USD they want to spend The amount cannot exceed the balance of the user's digital account, of course. Clicking check price then initiates a price call via the Batius API. Nice partnership there with Batius, the DEX aggregator. The app retrieves the quote data from Batius and displays to the user a close approximation of the amount of Pulsex, Hex, and weight they will receive. So it's kind of cool. The buy button turns blue, and the user can accept the price and initiate the trade US dollar from the user's custodial account, which is based of Fortress, of course, is sent to the buy account. Also in Fortress, because remember, Coast is they're not an intermediary. They don't hold any funds there. When the USD settles in the buy account, the Batius swap function is triggered. This may take up to 12 minutes here. I guess that's what they're trying to say here to complete. Now, Pulsex, Hex, or weight are sent to the user. Step 3, when the Batius swap function completes, the corresponding amount of Pulsex, and Hex all weight is sent to the user. This may take up to, I guess, that's 12 minutes. I'm assuming this is not an error there, 12 minutes. As at no point does the user need to pay for an on-chain transaction. However, they do need to link the external wallet to the dApp, so it knows where to send the PLS, PLSX, Hex, or weight token. Pretty cool. Now, they do have these fees. All platform fees can be found on the fees page of the Coast app. These fees have been radically reduced up to 75% for the remainder of 2023. Happy holidays. Now, I'm going to take task of the happy holidays. This was the use of happy holidays and festive season. These are all intentional wokeisms. So they're all designed to get rid of the terms that we used to use, like Christmas holidays. So I'm going to take task on that and call that out. These guys are just using it because they're being programmed to do it. But really, this is part of it, right? So they just get rid of the word Christmas and they want to replace it with festive holidays, happy holidays, all that other sort of woke crap that we have to put out with because they're just trying to indoctrinate people, right? So anyway, Merry Christmas to everybody, and the Christmas holidays will be awesome. In any case, they've got a 75% reduction in fees today. And of course, here we can see the mint, burn, buy, and ETH stablecoin deposit. They got the different tiers of fees there that you have. Now, obviously, if you've got typically you would have 100,000 weight tokens. If you had that bought up and staked, you would get a 1% fee. That's kind of normally the play there. Now, for the Christmas holiday fees, it's up to 75% off. And of course, you got the mint, burn, buy, and ETH stablecoin deposit there. And you can see the fees are really discounted at the moment. Only 0.25% of a fee if you got 100,000 weight tokens staked in there as well. So pretty cool there. They've got a few other things in there as well. So check that out. Big shout out to the Coast team for there. And hopefully they'll be deprogram themselves in the future from being programmed, right? That's what the whole point of it was, right? Okay. So let's jump away. What else we got going there? We got Expedition. It says waiting on my last sacrifice. Win-win. What's going on with that? Now we had an update in Discord about that in the Pulsechain chat, so you probably go check that out. But I think we're kind of waiting for the second half of Christmas time. We'll see how we go. Second half of December, I mean. We've got Matt in Bali. Howdy all. Good to see you, Matt. Welcome. What is it? The Expedition says weights or what's down. Good time to buy. Says Expedition on the old Power City there. All right, let's jump on away from that. Now, the other thing, of course, is liquid loans. We launched a couple of days ago. We covered this 3 days ago, something like that. We covered this with, no, it was not, 10, 11, 12, maybe 12 days ago. And we interviewed CC, the crypto crazy CEO. It was an amazing live stream. That was 2 days ago. You can check it out on Hex Token and Superman Crypto and Pulsechain YouTube. And we talked about the metrics and everything. We went through the whole thing. It was such a good interview. And of course, now look at the numbers now. Wow, $15.42 million has been created internally. We have our own Federal Reserve with these liquidity forks of liquid loans. And of course, Power City coming out with the EARN protocol. Our own we're going to have 2 central reserves. I mean, it's crazy. And of course, we've got Coast. We just talked about Coast, fee and on-ramp. And of course, that's looking beautiful. So I think it's something $3 million plus through there. And yeah, just incredible. Now we've got that Coast $3 million, let's say, USDL at $15.4 million generated internally. This means we don't have to bridge it over the bridge. That means it's just money created inside the system. It's pretty neat. Now, arguably, of course, 75% of it is sitting in the stability stake pool there for USDL, but we still have 24% of it still in the liquidity pool and in people's wallets. So it can be used to go and buy more Pulse and things like that. So it's still out there. But in any case, this is early days. What are we, day 12 or something like that? And up and away. I say up and away. So looking incredible. And look at the APRs in here. Stability pool, 332%, and staking pool, 78% at the moment on the staking pool as well. So The USDL and Alone token APRs are absolutely stunning at the moment. So kind of cool. That's why if you got APRs like that, 332%, no wonder we've got so much staked at the moment. But I would like to see the strategy start playing out, like the up token, the Haunted strategy, and see people start doing that. They're compounding, but of course taking appropriate collateral ratios. At the moment, the total collateral ratio is 214%. It is still green, of course. You can see that up here. So above 200% is green normal mode, which is kind of cool. But at the moment, we are up at 33 million USD. Can you believe it? 33 million. That is pretty much number one now on the TVL. But before we get onto TVL comparisons, I want to talk about the stablecoins, 15.472 million. Now, when the SEC came, of course, the SEC came, you guys remember it. Let's go to the chart here. I told you we're going to be talking about lots of stuff today. The SEC stuff back here, we were at 000010616, right? And that was the 10th, what was the date was that? That was the 31st of July. And of course, you can see on here on the Pulsechain official bridge data here on June dashboard, we were all the way up here at $176 million that had been net bought in over the bridge. And of course, that day when the SEC news came out, it went all the way down to 145 million there at the moment. So since that time on the 31st of July, we've had a couple of up moments. We've had a couple of down moments in terms of net flows coming in over the bridge. But we are ultimately down $38 million that has come over the bridge since that time, sitting at around about 124 million at the moment through the official bridge. Now, we do have other means of getting on the Pulsechain. Obviously, we've got Coast with the fiat, which is something like 3 million plus or minus on that. We've also got Pulse LN out there. We've got Portal X doing sort of similarity stuff there. Really, that's kind of a swapping thing. We also have some BNB bridges. I think we've got 2 of those at the moment with their own different mechanisms there. But ultimately, the official bridge is still the kingpin there at this stage, which is interesting. So if we're down 38 million, how do we get that capital back without it flowing back over the bridge? Well, we have recently had a time where we did that. We've had a couple of moments where we've had a couple of million DAI coming over. One of those was the 23rd of October here, or back in the 22nd, 23rd of October. We also had one here in our V. You remember our failed V recovery that we had after the SEC? We had a couple of million DAI coming over there as well. So we have had 2 major times when DAI has come in over the bridge. But the other way of doing it, of course, is not only do we keep looking to attract more people to Pulsechain, but also is the liquid loans, right? So these liquidity forks. And at the moment, if you add 15 and 42, so if you add those up and you add the cost of, let's say, $3 million, so 15.4 plus the 3 million, that gets us to $18.5 million. And of course, if we were down 38 from the SEC event, so this SEC event there, down 38, then we minus that off, then divided that by 38, then we have actually recovered through these internal systems 48.5% of the lost capital onto the chain, which is kind of good news. And it's only day 12 for liquid loans in any case. And we're already up at $15.5 million. So you can imagine the more Pulse that gets collateralized in the coming weeks, the more stable coins we have, and we could very well get ourselves back to stable coins back up to that value. And those can move around the system, right? Obviously, the high APRs are going to keep them locked in, quite a bit of percentage locked in the platforms, but that's super bullish. And it gets even better, right? It gets even better because we got Power City Earn Protocol coming with its own liquidity fork, and that's going to collateralize Pulsex, and I'll add PXDC stablecoin, and that's going to have millions of dollars of stablecoins coming with that, maybe tens of millions of dollars of stablecoins coming with that too. So it's going to get really, really cool, and that would be kind of a technical way of offsetting the SEC impact. And all we need that stuff to do is start moving around, buying the assets, Pulsex off the market, buying Pulse off the market, circulating back in the system, and of course people using the Haunted strategy and stuff like that. Now we're going to have other front ends, of course. Power Cities bring a front end, Magic Cup Rides bring front end to automate these strategies, and it's going to be fun to see that. We also sort of see the Haunted team out there with the up token and playing their role. It's going to be a lot of fun to see that play out. So kind of cool. I thought we'd have a little deep dive on that. Exciting times here happening with that. Now we've talked about the US dollars, the stability coins and all that. We've also got obviously not just the Power City coming, but we've also got PUSD Algo coming, right? The algorithmic coin. And if you guys have heard of the stablecoin dilemma, well, that's going to help with that, right? With the scalability, with the Algo and PUSD. So check out that link in the video description if you want to go and sacrifice for that. that is potential for huge scalability. That is the third part of the stability coin dilemma, or trilemma as they call it. And of course, it's going to help solve the scalability aspect to it. That's why I love it so much. It's just one of the many mechanisms. And of course, what's going to do different? It's going to automate the process through full DeFi. And of course, we're going to have stability miners, and it's going to be automated limit orders and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. No humans getting in the road. No humans buying Bitcoin. No humans trying to bring liquidity pools in to defend a falling price and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be really, really cool to see that. Definitely check out PUSD Algo. That'll be our fourth stable coin, and potentially solve the trilemma of scaling, and it's going to be a lot of fun there. So kind of cool. That is the play at the moment. Let's move on from that though. So in terms of TVL, we're going to switch from stable coins and the multiplier effect and into the TVL argument. And of course, here at the moment, we've got $33 million for Pulse. So this, in other words, we've got PulseX is the number one, of course. And of course, then we've got now liquid loans sitting at 33 million, which is pretty amazing. And this is in 12 days, so it's brilliant. And then we've got Pulse PHEX here, the fork of balancer. So liquid loans, the fork of liquidity, PHEX, the fork of balancer is, and the TVL in here is $23.2 million at the moment. This team, PH Universe, has done an amazing job, and it's actually been a pretty relatively successful sacrifice process as well. And of course, that's looking really good. They've had $388 million in volume, which is actually spectacular in early days. Now, the TVL has got as high in the 40s. I think it got maybe 45 million. And of course, I'm sure it's going to get back to that and well beyond that as the bull market continues. We're still in early days. So that's number 2 there, or 3 after PulseX. And we've also obviously got 9inch. 9inch is still managing to hold on. Where it's $9.69 million TVL, and 9inch is still managing to hold on. I do know that the 9inch team has done a little bit more marketing lately. So it's starting to get my attention with that. And of course, a live stream today as well was held. I think Hexy Buster did one of those. That's positive. I like to see that. So keep it up. Just ramp it up, and keep that going. I know they've got more pools and things coming. They've got a trading group as well. But it's starting to get there. Let's see if they can snowball this thing and take a rightful place as one of the top TVL projects on Pulsechain. I think they've got a bit more work to do. But this started to show a few little green shoots along that line, and we'll see how they go. And of course, Randy Alaski's coming up with his note token coming up soon this month as well. So stay tuned for that. Now, the other thing, of course, is the next TVL after this one, which is 9inch holding on to number 4, is SparkSwap. SparkSwap at number 5 at the moment, 5.7 million TVL at the moment on the old SparkSwap, and that has managed to keep going. Now, SparkSwap has its own bridge, right? So it has its own bridge, which is pretty cool. I'm just trying to remember where that is actually. Here it is here, the bridge. So it's another bridge that's technology. Now that uses some sort of ownership token, EMP on either chain to do the swaps, but you can do BSC chain there. It's pretty cool, and Arbitrum as well. So kind of cool there. That's another bridge option to BNB and Arbitrum if you want to use that through SparkSwap. So you have to work out how to do it, but they got docs down the bottom here as well. Maybe I'll cover that on another live stream. But that is looking pretty good at number 5 on TVL. But of course, who's coming down the line? Yes, sir. So if that's 5.7, we got Power City. Woo-hoo-hoo! So Power City's coming, and boy, oh boy, it's starting to ramp up. And this is going to be a juggernaut. Really, it's going to be, I think, the battle of the Titans here between Liquid Loans and Power City and PHEX maybe. It's going to be fun to see. But Power City's already come out of the gate quite strong. We can see that the market cap at the moment is 3.5 million. So it's definitely going to be pretty cool. And of course, they've got all their protocols to launch yet. So they got PortX out there already doing extremely well. They're going to have the Earn protocol coming out. The TVL is going to be amazing on that. I suggest to you, we had way more, 3 times more sacrifices for PulseX, and the supply. It's going to be incredible to see that go in as well. And the big players use it. I know a lot of people are looking to leverage PulseX. It's a lower loan amount too, right? $500 rather than $2,000. So I think the Earn protocol is going to be absolutely lit. And of course, they've got their Pixel Park NFT marketplace, which they say they've got some secret sauce going to make that absolutely epic compared to other NFT marketplaces. And of course, they've also got Amplifier and other products coming down the line. So it's going to be pretty fun to see that. So at the moment, looking pretty good is the old Power City Core. The price there is pretty much up slightly from yesterday when we were talking about it at 0019. It's been pretty much 0.2 of a penny, as I say. market cap 3.5 million. Total lock coins at the moment 1.7 billion, which is looking at pretty good at a TVL of 3.3 million, which puts it right up there. Now, there are a few other protocols in this sort of level of TVL, but they're kind of related to Hex and other things like that, Hex derivatives. But I'm kind of ignore that sort of that association. But that's kind of where we are at the moment. So if we did go to some of the top protocols, you'll be able to see that. I haven't got the list up at the moment, but that is kind of the play. So very exciting. Here's another big TVL. Why is these so important, these TVLs? Because they will add value to the Pulsechain. They add so much value. This is what we want. We want these high value protocols that are people using and that get valued up, right? That's why it's important. And from an individual point of view, obviously you're looking for APRs and ROIs that are really attractive. And of course, you're going to have more options. The more options like these quality protocols that are on Pulsechain, the better options you have for earning really mad gains in both in passive income and potentially capital gain during the bull market. So it's kind of cool like that as well. Now, typically when the bull market's on, you typically move out of stable coins into risk aversion, into risk taking, and move into tokens that are going to make you some mad X returns. And then, of course, during a bear market, if you can anticipate that, you've taken good profits and you move back into stable coins and get nice passive income earners. So they become really important. Things like PX and other protocols like that play a role there at the moment. So it's kind of cool. But the ultimate one, of course, is Hex. And Hex is what we're going to be looking at to wrap up the rest into the live stream. Hex.com, of course. I'm going to get into the Hex daily stats, which is going to be pretty cool. We got yesterday's numbers out for Ethereum, but we don't have that out for we've already got it out for Pulsechain. So this is the current day for Pulsechain, day 215. Can you believe it, for Hex? Before we get into that, though, let's catch up on the chat one more time, or two more times. One more time plus another time equals two more times. We got what else there? We got Wookie in the house is hi. We got Tom Boss there as well. Wow, just saw Richard's tweet saying the bridge is free now. Oh, I didn't see that. We're going to pull that up soon. Redemptions are coming soon too, says Sandy Beach. Yeah, redemptions coming for liquid loans soon, so that's going to be activated as a day away or 2 days. I think it might be 2 days or something like that. And Christian says it seems that the Pulsechain bridge is free. Let's pull that up. I'm going to pull that up. That's hot off the press, apparently. So let's pull that. I just read his tweets only like 20 minutes ago, and he comes out with another tweet. There we go. All right, so let's pull that up. Let's have a look. Now, this is hot off the press, folks. Bam. All right, so bridge pulsechain.com is currently free. If you don't already have native Pulse, you could get Wrap Pulse on Ethereum, which when bridged to Pulsechain becomes native Pulse. And then you've got the gas to swap in the millions of liquidity on Pulsechain side with whatever else you bridged in, like DAI, ETH, Wrap, Bitcoin, USDT, USDC. You don't need to much PLS for gas since it's 10,000x more affordable than ETH lately. TLDR PLS liquidity is far thicker on Pulsechain than it is on Ethereum. And of course, there 100 ETH there bridged in. So super bullish news. That's fantastic. And of course, I'll post the link to that in the chat there. You can retweet that out or repost it. Great news. So Pulsechain, we're just talking about the bridge too. How about that, eh? It's almost forecast there. I don't know. It's kind of cool. We could have not been talking about the bridge. I did a deep dive on the bridge. There we are. A deep dive on the bridge. And out comes Richard with the bridge. There we are. That's pretty cool. I'll take credit for that. No, I'm just kidding. There we are. Bridge, Pulsechain bridge. There we go. So repost that. Get that love out there. That's huge for adoption and very, very exciting to hear. Man, it was 0.3%, right? So now it's pretty much free. Those validators, I don't know what are the validators going to do. They're going to have to go out and maybe they've made so much money they don't need any more money. Maybe they're all in Pulsechain validators earning Pulse now with the old bridge earnings. Was there 13 validators? I think it was 13 or something like that. And yeah, cool news. Free. Spread the word. I'm going to post that out, retweet that out as well. In fact, let me do it now while we're live because that's nice and early. Let's pull it out for Richard. I've still got that open. So let's retweet the heart out of that one while we're live. Let's do it. And bam, let's go on that one. Free means no fees. Bridge free equals 0. So that is fantastic news. And I'll post that in the Discord unless someone else has already done before me. Maybe one of the moderators. Just remember to add the everyone tab if you're a moderator. Moderators add the everyone tab. Post that post from Richard Hart. That is very, very cool. DJ and Hex in the house there. Lots of love, Superman. Yeah, well, look at that. Awesome news. Look at that awesome news. That is fantastic. Puts a smile on your face, doesn't it? I was thinking about the validators too, lol, says Brennan. Indeed. All right, we know the Genesis validators exited, right? Remember that? Genesis validator, was it 2096 or 3096, or was it 4096? I forget now, but it was pretty cool. All right, fantastic news. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Now, I think we're going up to the Hex stats there, so let's do that. Day 1472, which is really day 215 on Pulsechain. 13th of December 2023, and the price there is up 2%, and we're sitting there at a 8400th of a penny on the old Pulsechain. So 2 up days, that's kind of cool. And the payout per day is the key number, 6.675 hex per T-share, looking good. Share rate no change at 31,000. Average mining length on Pulsechain 6.83 years. That's the average mining length for CD miners there on Pulsechain. 37.4% APY for existing T-share miners. And let's look at the ownership pool. Only down 550 today. We're sitting at 9,772,000 T-shares in the old mining pool. Remember, Pulsechain's Hex is really easy to understand. We have a reward pool with all the Hex in it, and we have an ownership pool that owns all those rewards, and that is T-shares. And T-shares stands for trillions of shares. What happens is you buy Hex and you burn your Hex for T-shares, and of course you then earn from that reward pool. That's pretty much it. So looking good. Let's move over to the lock percent of coins. 9.77% of all Hex is locked on Pulsechain. We had 600,000 Hex and penalties today. Looking at the growth numbers, up 36 liquid holders on the old Pulsechain. No change in miners. We've got 124,632 miners on the Pulsechain. So those are the numbers for day 215 on Pulsechain. Ethereum numbers will probably come out just after the live stream. They always seem to be delayed, like 20 minutes or something. So they're not out today. But yesterday's numbers out for day 1471, and that was 6.699. So kind of cool there on the old payout for yesterday. Looking at today's number, we're now on day 1473 for Hex in the 5th year. We're in the 5th year for Hex. It's so mature now. It's really like the first year of our child going to school. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. Wait till Hex is 15 years old. It'll be like a rebellious teenager. It won't tell you, won't do what they're told or anything like that. Anyway, they've got to learn the hard way, apparently. Got to learn the hard way there. But hey, let's get them pretty neat. We'll end the analogy right there. But day 1473, and we're on day 216 on Pulsechain. Hex.com, folks, check it out. Get the ultimate CD miner. There's the store of value and a good passive income in there as well. If you got any questions, get into our Discord. The link's in the video description. We do have a crypto helpline in the Discord, and that is pretty much the only, I think we're the only community out there that's got that. So get in there. It's just part of the many awesome things inside our Discord. Most important, of course, is the people, but we have amazing information in there too. All right, kind of cool. Man, we covered a lot today. We covered Power Set Liquid Loans, which is like a beastie boy. P-Hux as well, the Balancer Fork, 9-inch, the V2 DEX there on Ethereum and Pulsechain. And, of course, SparkSwap there has managed to keep going. And, of course, got the Magic Sparkler as well as the bridge there to BNB, which is cool, and Adripim. I couldn't even say that word properly. And then we've got Power City Core, which is about to roll out all the ecosystems before Christmas, apparently. And, of course, we're excited about that. So, kind of cool. All right, that's it. I think we're going to leave it there. We're up to now in 8 minutes. We did a fantastic show again today because we covered very important things, and that's all you have to do is cover the important stuff and rock and roll after that. Thank you, Hex Token, and everybody from Sandy Beach. You're most welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I'm going to be in Discord after this. It's going to be fun. Brennan says, ask for the war chest and Richard deploys. That says Brennan. Yeah. Fingers crossed there, Brendan. Fingers crossed, man. Pulsex DAO. Let's see what happens in the Pulsex DAO. Is it coming? What could happen in there? I don't know. Just imagination. It runs wild. It's definitely one option for war chest. So we'll see where we go. All right. Take care, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. We've covered it all. We covered it all. Stock market, Federal Reserve, crypto, Pulsechain, top DeFi protocols on Pulsechain. The bridges, we covered the bridge. We had Richard Hart give free fees for the bridge. What else do you want? What else is there? Get in the Discord, folks. The link's in the video description. Become part of the best community on the Pulsechain Hex ecosystem, and I'll catch you guys there. Take care. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and take care, everybody. Bye for now. But wait, there's more. Let's play a video on the way out. Let's go play Richard Hart because he gave us free bridge fees today, which is kind of cool. And let's give a tribute to Richard. Here we go. Peace out. Bye for now. Take care. Yeah.
Here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.